Hey everyone, welcome back to John Plays Immaculate Grade, or whatever we want to call this, chasing the rarity score. I have I think I'm 0 for my last three, or at least I'm um I've not had a fully successful game in a few days, but yeah, I'm wearing my lucky Milwaukee Brewers Hawaiian shirt Friday, my place of business. So we'll get right into it. Let's see if I can do a little bit better. I think my mistake yesterday was I looked up the career of Jack Quinn, and I just had him in the wrong team. I thought he played for the Giants. Turns out he played for the Dodgers as I mean, he played with a number of teams, and I'd memorized it by modern division, even though he played in the early 1900s. He also works for 200 wins, and which is what I was trying to play him for. And he was also born in modern day Slovakia, so which means he was probably born in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. But alas, he does not work um, for the Giants. So gonna hit play now, and we'll get rolling. I had a hard restart, so hopefully that should all work. And there we go. Oh, I know how to play. All right, Reggie Sanders works. And let's see, Todd Stottlemyre. Let's get Rogers Hornsby. Less than 3 ERA. I think Cato works there. I know Clemens works. And let's see here. Musina definitely works for at least 1 year. Francisco Cordero, who probably also would have worked for the ERA one. And then over here, let's get Hanky. Will definitely work. And let's go Randy Myers. Bam! 46 seconds. Already scored 103. Not bad. Biggest ones were Henke at 32%, Clemens at 14%, Cato up at 20% for the Reds. 1/5 of people went with him. Interesting. Um, and yeah, you get huh, yeah. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to stop share, reshare. But yeah, 47 seconds, 46, whatever it was, I'll take that. Start sharing, and let's see how rare we can get. Stottlemyre is actually one that I think has creeped up in popularity. Because I've definitely played him, I think, with that combination of teams before and had it be a whole lot lower than it, like sub 1%. Um, all right. So let's see here. For 30 saves in a season, I guess Randy Myers, who I used here, would also work there. I think John Franco works pretty sure. Um, I picked Francisco Cordero. Aroldis Chapman, of course, works. I'm not sure if Scott Williamson got there in his Rookie of the Year campaign. One name that will work, and I think I'm just gonna play him, is Jeff Shaw. I think in 1997 had over 40 saves. All right, so that's 1%, pretty good. Um, and then for the Blue Jays, so let's see, your options are gonna be, I think Billy Koch, um, BJ Ryan would work. I think BJ Ryan would work for both the Blue Jays and the Orioles. Dwayne Ward in I believe he was the closer in 93. What do we think of him? 5%. It's pretty good. All right. And then for the Orioles, maybe BJ Ryan is the best. I definitely have Randy Myers there. I had him in 97. Jim Johnson, circa 2012. Zach Britton. Um, what's their current closer is really good. I'm blanking on his name, which is a commentary on me, not on him. He was really good. I just don't watch a lot of Orioles baseball. They won 100 games, and I'm still not really sure who plays for them. other than Rushman. Oh, and who's their the guy who won Rookie of the Year? I gotta really brush up on my Orioles. And they've got Jackson Halliday coming up. Like that's a very exciting up and coming team. Um, okay, here I've got a name, Jack Powell, also a 200 game winner. Works for both St. Louis teams. There we go. 0.1%. That time I got the right one. All right. So trying to come up with people who've gone sub 3 ERA. There should be a whole bunch for Cincinnati. I wonder if like Epirixie ever did it. Um, but yeah, not sure on that. Coming over here, let's see here. Ron Gant. I used Reggie Sanders. Ron Gant also works. They have a lot of the same teams, so I will use them a lot. But I think they've creeped up in popularity, so I'm using them a little bit less. Um, one person who works is Ron Valone. He hits both teams. Goes point 0.3. Hits a lot of teams though. That's not a huge secret. I think a lot of people are onto Ron Valone. I think I'm gonna go BJ Ryan down here. I think Johnson, like they've had three excellent closers at least in the last 10 years. Britton, Johnson, and the current guy. I'm sorry I can't think of current players nearly as well as I can think of past players, but BJ Ryan is the guy I'm gonna go with. He was closer for the Blue Jays and Orioles. He had like one or two good seasons with each team. He goes 4%. All right. Um, and then navigating the Blue Jays. So we got Clemens, Halliday, and Steve. All seem really obvious. I believe in 2011, Ricky Romero had a sub 3 ERA, which I just remember seeing and being like, ah, it's a really good ERA. And then I'm not sure on J Happ. Um, I'm trying to think of like more obscure reliever. Oh, there's a really good. Okay, no, that's not it. The person I'm thinking of. Oh, I just thought of it. Eichhorn. Yeah, Mark Eichhorn. 19. Man, that's a little earlier than I thought. I thought he was a rookie in 85. Maybe he had a cup of coffee. I think this is the guy, but he had a one of the very best seasons ever by a reliever in 1985. And I wrote about it a little bit in my book. I'm gonna select him. Takes 1%. Maybe I could have gone better with like Ricky Romero. It's all right. Let's see here. So we're looking at sub 3 ERA. Um, that's certainly not most Reds starters in my lifetime. Trevor Bauer will certainly work though. Cato worked. That's where I used him. I don't think Edison Volquez works. I think he had one season where he was like 17-6 with like a 3.2 ERA. That kind of a season. Very good season, but not going to work here. Not sure if Scott Williamson was even sub 3 ERA the year he won that Rookie of the Year. Brantley, trying to remember which of the nasty boys, Norm Charlton. I'm not actually sure if they were sub 3 ERA. Seaver works as mentioned. Reds are a really old team. Maybe like an old Haas Radborn. But I'm not saying that with any confidence. Cy Seymour was a starting pitcher with the New York Giants, and by the time he was with the Reds, he was a center fielder. I don't know if he pitched a little bit here or there. Because if he did, that would be very helpful to the cause. Um, yeah, sub 3 ERA is a weird one. Those just don't stick with me the same way. I wonder if Bobo Newsome was keeps coming up. I wonder if he went sub 3 ERA at some point. for the Orioles. He probably did at some point in his career. I just don't know if it was with the Orioles. I gotta read into his career. Like Jeff said, he's one of the um he's an immaculate grid superstar. He hits a bunch of teams. He even hit 300 one year. I don't know if he goes sub 3 ERA with the Browns though. I also don't think, even though he was the best reliever in Browns history, I don't think Satchel Paige works either. I think he was low threes as a 47-year-old, which is pretty good. I'll take that. Hoyt Wilhelm definitely works. Um, and then I'm wondering which of the four or so Oriole 20 game winners went sub three. Greg Olson, I'm not sure about. Um, I guess I could just go. You know what I could do though? I can bank on a fair number of people using Zach Britton and or Jim Johnson here. And Britton had like a sub one ERA in 2016, 47 saves, sub one ERA, and left in the bullpen when they lost the wild card game. I'm gonna go with Jim Johnson though. I think 2012 or so, he was 50 saves, sub three. Okay, that was pretty good. Um, yeah, I'm very sure Seaver works. I'm just trying to remember. Yeah, I'm wondering like a Johnny Vandermeer or Joe Nuxhall. These are famous baseball names, but I don't actually know if they go sub three. I know Nuxhall appeared in a game when he was 15 years old. He's the youngest player ever in MLB history, but as I recall, it went poorly. So I'm not going to go with him. Um, even though he'd probably work for some season or another. And Christy Mathewson um, briefly pitched for the Reds, but I also don't have enough clairvoyance on if he was sub three that year. So a lot of people who might work or might not work. I mentioned like Epirixie. Um, got to be some old school people I'm not even thinking of. Pud Galvin, was he a Red? Seems like a guy who would be a Red. But again, I'm not 100% sure. Um, other relievers. About I'm pretty confident on Arthur Rhodes. I was right. Okay. That was one I just kind of thought of. 2010 time frame. All right. And now we need someone Cardinals and Blue Jays. So I've used Stottlemyre. He was like 3%. Um, who else? Matheny works. Let's go Mike Matheny. Let's round it out with a former Brewer. Also goes point 0.3. So I end up with a 13, which is pretty good for this category. Although I could have gone better. I didn't realize there were this many people who were going to work. 13 for the Reds, 12 for the Blue Jays, and 11 for the Orioles. Felix Batista was the guy I was thinking of. I'm just I don't watch American League teams all that often, and so I mostly just watch the Brewers. Sometimes if it's like a game the Brewers care about, I'll watch that too. But um, I need to get more up on, especially be doing these videos. I need to get more up on the teams that aren't the Brewers, or teams that aren't from 1998. All right, well, I will take a 13. The nice thing is that the current people are the most common ones. So me whipping out BJ Ryan from 2006 or whenever is, or Shaw from 1997 or Ward from 1993 is less likely to get competition than like a modern day, current day player. So this one was in my book. I briefly alluded to Eichhorn's 1985 season. I was writing about the transition of relievers. It's in the Mariano Rivera chapter. You can read all about that. Link will be in the description. All right. Thanks a lot for playing, and you all have a great weekend. Peace.